$200 million. That's how much the most expensive mansion on our list is worth. But get this, it's not even the craziest thing about it. The owner built a freaking artificial lake just because he could. We're counting down the top 15 most luxurious billionaire mansions, and trust me, you're going to want to see this. From tech moguls to old money families, we're showing you how the 1% of the 1% really live. Xanadu 2.0, Bill Gates' high-tech haven. All right, let's talk about Bill Gates' insane mansion, Xanadu 2.0. This place is worth a whopping $121 million, and it's packed with tech that'll blow your mind. Gates didn't mess around when he built this place. It took 7 years and $63 million to construct, but the result? Pure luxury with a side of nerd heaven. The house is like something out of a sci-fi movie. It actually changes temperature and lighting based on who's in the room. Imagine walking into a room and it just knows what you like. That's some next-level comfort right there, but wait, there's more. Gates, being the book nerd he is, made sure to include a massive library. We're talking 2,100 square feet of books, and get this, it's got secret bookcases. You know, in case he needs to make a quick getaway or hide his secret stash of rare first editions. Now let's talk about the coolest tech feature in this place. It's not the smart home system or the giant screens on the walls. Nah, it's in the pool. Gates has a 60-foot pool that's not just for swimming. It's got an underwater music system. Yeah, you heard that right. You can literally swim to the beat. It's like having your own private underwater disco. But here's the thing about Xanadu 2.0. It's not just a show of wealth. It's a perfect example of how tech billionaires like Gates are changing the game when it comes to luxury homes. They're not just buying big houses. They're creating high-tech wonderlands that push the boundaries of what's possible. And this is where we start to see the difference between old money and new tech money. Old money might have fancy antiques and oil paintings, but new money? They're all about innovation and cutting-edge technology. They're turning their homes into showcases for the latest and greatest tech. So while some billionaires are living in mansions that look like they're straight out of the 1800s, guys like Gates are building homes that look like they're from the year 3000. It's not just about having a big house anymore, it's about having a smart house, a house that can do things no one else's can. And that's what makes Xanadu 2.0 so special. It's not just a mansion, it's a glimpse into the future of luxury living. It's what happens when you give a tech genius unlimited resources and tell him to build his dream home. But as cool as Gates' place is, it's just the beginning of our list. We've got even crazier mansions coming up. And trust me, some of these places make Xanadu 2.0 look like a starter home. So stick around, because we're about to see how the other half of the 1% lives. The Pinnacle, Tim Blixith's ski paradise. While Bill Gates was building his tech wonderland, another billionaire was creating a winter paradise that'll make your jaw drop. Ever dreamed of having your own private ski resort? For Tim Blixith, that dream became a $155 million reality. Welcome to the Pinnacle, a mansion that's not just a home, it's a whole winter wonderland. This place is tucked away in Montana, right in the heart of the Yellowstone Club. And let me tell you, it's not your average ski lodge. From the outside, the Pinnacle looks like it's straight out of a winter fairy tale. Snow-covered peaks, pristine forests, the whole 9 yards. But step inside, and you're hit with a wave of warmth and luxury that'll make you forget all about the cold. This place is massive. We're talking 10 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. But here's the kicker. Every single one of these rooms has its own fireplace. Yeah, you heard that right. No fighting over who gets to sit by the fire here. Everyone gets their own personal flame show. And if that's not enough to keep you toasty, get this. The entire house has heated floors. Yep, you can walk around barefoot in the dead of winter and your toes will still be nice and warm. It's like the whole house is giving you a big warm hug. But let's be real, you don't drop $155 million on a house just for some warm floors and pretty fireplaces. Nah, the Pinnacle's got something way cooler up its sleeve. Something that makes it stand out from every other luxury mansion out there. Picture this. You wake up, look out your window at the fresh powder, and decide you want to hit the slopes. In a normal house, you'd have to get dressed, pack your gear, drive to the ski resort, wait in line for the lift. But not here. At the Pinnacle, you just grab your skis and step outside. Why? Because this place has its own private chairlift and ski run. That's right, Blixith built a whole ski setup right in his backyard. It's like having your own personal Winter Olympics venue. No crowds, no lift lines, just you and the mountain. This is where the Pinnacle really shines. It's not just a house, it's a full-on luxury ski resort. You've got all the comforts of a 5-star hotel, combined with the privacy and exclusivity of a personal mansion, plus instant access to some of the best skiing in the country. It's no wonder the Pinnacle is often compared to places like Aspen and Vail. But here's the thing. Those places are crawling with tourists and paparazzi. At the pinnacle, it's just you and whoever you decide to invite. It's the ultimate VIP ski experience. But as mind-blowing as the pinnacle is, it's just one stop on our tour of billionaire mansions. We've seen how Gates does tech and how Blixith does winter luxury. But what happens when you take that kind of money and apply it to a tropical paradise? Our next stop is going to show you just how over-the-top things can get when a media mogul decides to build their dream home. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one. Promised Land, Oprah's media empire estate. All right, forget about winter wonderlands. We're headed to a place where the sun always shines and the roses never stop blooming. Oprah's home is called Promised Land for a reason, and trust me, it lives up to the hype. But there's one part of this estate that's so extra, it'll make you rethink everything you know about gardening. Let's talk about Oprah's $90 million Montecito estate. This place is a far cry from her humble beginnings in rural Mississippi. Oprah's come a long way from her childhood home with no running water to owning this 23,000 square foot Georgian-style mansion. Promised Land isn't just big, it's packed with luxury. We're talking 6 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, and get this, 10 fireplaces. That's right, Oprah's got more fireplaces than some people have rooms in their house, but that's just the start. This place has got some serious amenities. There's a tennis court for when Oprah feels like channeling her inner Serena Williams. And if she's in the mood for something more chill, she can head over to her very own tea house. Yeah, Oprah's got a whole separate building just for sipping tea. Talk about living your best life. But wait, there's more. Oprah's also got an artificial pond on her property. Because when you're worth billions, why settle for a regular old swimming pool? Nah, Oprah's got a whole ecosystem in her backyard. Now all of this is pretty impressive, but there's one feature of Promised Land that takes things to a whole new level. Remember those 600 rose bushes I mentioned earlier? Well, they're not just any roses. These are Oprah's pride and joy, a garden so massive and beautiful it needs its own maintenance crew. Imagine walking through a sea of roses, every color you can think of, all perfectly manicured. The scent alone must be incredible. But here's the thing, keeping 600 rose bushes in pristine condition ain't easy. It takes a team of skilled gardeners working round the clock to keep Oprah's rose garden looking picture perfect. And let's be real, this isn't just about having pretty flowers. This rose garden is a statement. It's Oprah saying, I've made it, and I'm going to surround myself with beauty. It's luxury on a whole other level. But Promised Land isn't Oprah's only piece of real estate. Nah, she's got homes in Hawaii, Chicago, Colorado, and New Jersey too. But this Montecito mansion, it's the crown jewel of her property empire. Oprah's Promised Land is more than just a home. It's been featured in TV shows and magazines, becoming almost as famous as its owner. It's a symbol of success, a real-life fairy tale ending for a woman who started with nothing and built an empire. So we've seen tech genius Bill Gates with his underwater sound system and ski enthusiast Tim Blixith with his private chairlift. Now we've got media queen Oprah with her 600 rose bushes. But trust me, we're not done yet. Our next stop is going to take us across the pond to a mansion so mysterious its owner was a secret for years. Get ready, because things are about to get even crazier. Whittenhurst, London's mystery mega mansion. Imagine owning a house so big you could sleep in a different bedroom every day for almost a month. Now picture keeping that massive crib a total secret. Sounds impossible, right? Well, someone pulled it off, and the story behind it is wild. Welcome to Whittenhurst, London's second largest private residence. This place is so fancy it makes Buckingham Palace look like a cozy cottage. We're talking about a $450 million mansion that's been shrouded in mystery for years. This isn't just any old house. Whittenhurst has 25 bedrooms. Yeah, you heard that right, 25. And get this, it's got 365 windows, one for every day of the year. It's like the mansion is playing hide and seek with the sun. But the real showstopper? The 70-foot ballroom. You could throw a party for hundreds of people in there and still have room for a dance-off. And when you're done partying, why not catch a movie in the private theater? Because yeah, it's got one of those too. Now here's where things get really interesting. For years, nobody knew who owned this place. It was like a real-life game of Clue, but instead of figuring out who did it, everyone was trying to figure out who owned it. The mystery had people going crazy. Journalists, neighbors, even the government. Everyone was trying to crack the case. People came up with all sorts of theories. Some thought it was a secret hideout for a James Bond villain. Others were convinced it belonged to a member of the royal family from some far-off country. The rumors just kept getting wilder and wilder. But here's the thing about secrets in the age of the internet. They don't stay secret for long. After years of speculation, the truth finally came out. The owners of Whittenhurst, a Russian billionaire family? Now you might be thinking, why all the secrecy? Well, when you're mega rich, privacy becomes a luxury all on its own. These folks didn't want paparazzi camped outside their door or people snooping around their business, so they kept things on the down low, way down low. But even with the mystery solved, Whittenhurst is still making waves. The renovation of this place faced some serious challenges. Turns out, keeping a historic mansion up to date while maintaining its old-school charm ain't easy. It's like trying to upgrade a classic car with the latest tech. You've got to be careful not to mess up what makes it special. This whole Whittenhurst saga isn't just about one super secret, super expensive house. It's part of a bigger trend. Ultra-wealthy people all over the world are going to crazy lengths to keep their properties and identities under wraps. It's like a game of hide and seek, but with billion-dollar prizes. So we've seen tech genius Bill Gates with his underwater sound system, ski enthusiast Tim Blixith with his private chairlift, and media queen Oprah with her 600 rose bushes. Now we've got a mysterious Russian family with a mansion so big and so secret it sparked a years-long guessing game. But hold on to your hats, because we're not done yet. Our next stop is going to take us to a home that makes Whittenhurst look like a starter apartment. We're talking about a tech mogul who decided that if you can't build out, you've got to build up. Get ready for a skyscraper that's actually just one family's house. Yeah, you read that right. A whole skyscraper for one family. This is going to be wild. Ellison Estate, Larry's Japanese-inspired oasis. Ever wondered what happens when Silicon Valley meets ancient Japan? Larry Ellison's $200 million answer to that question is going to blow your mind. This place is so extra, he didn't just buy land, he made some. Welcome to Larry Ellison's Woodside Estate, a $200 million slice of Japan right in the heart of California. This ain't your average tech mogul mansion. Nah, Ellison went full samurai with this one, creating a Japanese-inspired oasis that'll make you forget you're in Silicon Valley. The estate's got 10 buildings spread out across the property, but don't think McMansion. We're talking traditional Japanese architecture here. Ellison's obsessed with making everything fit perfectly with the landscape. It's like he took a chunk of Kyoto and dropped it in California. One of the coolest spots on the property is the tea house. Yeah, Ellison's got his own place just for sipping green tea and contemplating life. And right next to it, a koi pond that's straight out of a Japanese garden. These aren't just some goldfish in a backyard pond. We're talking about those massive, colorful koi that probably cost more than your car. But here's where things get really wild. Ellison didn't just build a house, he built a whole ecosystem. The centerpiece of this insane property is a man-made lake. And we're not talking about some little pond. This thing is 2.3 acres of pure, crystal-clear water. Creating this lake wasn't just a matter of digging a hole and filling it up. Nah, Ellison went all out. He had his team bring in tons of native plants to make sure the lake fit in with the surroundings. It's like he's trying to fool Mother Nature herself. Now you might be thinking, why the heck does a tech billionaire need his own lake? Well, that's just how Ellison rolls. He's known for his crazy real estate moves. This dude's got a passion for architecture and design that's almost as big as his bank account. But here's the thing. Building your own lake ain't all fun and games. Some folks are pretty worried about how all this water use is affecting the environment. In a state that's always dealing with droughts, a private lake is kind of like lighting cigars with $100 bills. It's a flex, but maybe not the best look. Ellison's estate is the perfect example of what happens when new tech money meets old world style. It's not about having the biggest house or the most bling. For Ellison, it's about creating a whole vibe. He's not just living large, he's living in his own private Japan. But as mind-blowing as Ellison's Japanese paradise is, it's not even the most expensive place on our list. We've got one more stop, and it's gonna make Ellison's lake look like a kiddie pool. We're talking about a mansion with a price tag so high it'll make your head spin. Get ready, because we're about to see what happens when old money goes absolutely wild. Villa Leopolda, a Riviera legacy. Old money going wild? That's putting it mildly. Our next mansion takes us from Silicon Valley to the glittering French Riviera. But this isn't just any fancy European estate. It's a place with a past so juicy it makes modern celebrity scandals look tame. How does a $750 million royal love nest sound? Welcome to Villa Leopolda, a mansion that's not just expensive. It's got a story that'll make your jaw drop. This place was a gift from King Leopold II of Belgium to his mistress. Talk about a sugar daddy move. The king didn't just buy her a necklace or a car. Nah, he went and got her a whole mansion on the French Riviera. But here's where it gets wild. After the king died, his mistress got kicked out. The place changed hands a few times, each owner adding their own touch of luxury. Now it's worth a staggering $750 million. That's right, $750 million for one house. Let's talk about what you get for that kind of money. Villa Leopolda's got 11 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. That's enough space to host a small village. But the real flex, the 50 full-time gardeners who keep the grounds looking perfect. Yeah, you heard that right. 50 people whose only job is to make sure the grass is greener on this side of the fence. The mansion itself is a work of art. It was designed by an American architect named Ogden Codman Jr. back in the late 1920s. This guy took inspiration from the surrounding area and created a place that looks like it grew right out of the Riviera landscape. But the outside is nothing compared to what's inside. Villa Leopolda is packed with antique furniture and art that's worth millions. We're talking paintings that probably belong in museums, furniture that kings and queens might have sat on, and decor that's older than some countries. And get this, the whole place is maintained like it's a 5-star hotel. Except instead of guests, it's just for one lucky owner and their friends. Imagine having a staff bigger than some companies, all dedicated to keeping your house looking perfect. But here's the thing about Villa Leopolda. It's not just a house, it's a piece of history. Every room, every garden path, every antique vase has a story. It's like living in a real-life soap opera set, where you can almost hear the whispers of scandals passed in the hallways. This place puts most other mansions to shame. It's got the history, the luxury, the views, and a price tag that makes even billionaires do a double take. It's old money at its finest, showing that sometimes the most luxurious things aren't about having the latest tech or the biggest pool. Sometimes it's about owning a piece of history that's so exclusive, so storied, that it's practically priceless. But as mind-blowing as Villa Leopolda is, we're not done yet. Our next stop is going to show you what happens when new money decides to go vertical. We're talking about a home that's not just a mansion, it's a whole skyscraper. Yeah, you heard that right. A billionaire who decided that if you can't build out, you've got to build up. Get ready, because things are about to get even crazier. Antilia, Mukesh Ambani's vertical palace. Imagine a house so big it has its own zip code. Now triple that size and stick it in the middle of one of the world's poorest cities. Welcome to Antilia, where home sweet home meets corporate headquarters in the craziest way possible. This isn't just any skyscraper, it's a 27-story home that redefines living large in the most unexpected ways. Owned by Mukesh Ambani, one of India's richest men, Antilia is worth a whopping $1 billion. Yeah, you heard that right. $1 billion for a house. But here's where it gets wild. Antilia sits smack in the middle of Mumbai, a city where millions live in extreme poverty. It's like parking a gold-plated spaceship in the middle of a slum. The contrast is so stark, it's almost hard to believe. So what do you get for $1 billion? Let's start with the basics. Antilia's got 3 helipads on the roof, because why deal with traffic when you can just fly in, right? And to get around inside this massive tower, there are 9 elevators. It's like having your own private office building. But that's just the start. Ambani's got a 50-seat theater in there too. Imagine never having to deal with crowded movie theaters or overpriced popcorn again. You just invite your 49 closest friends over for a private screening whenever you feel like it. Now let's talk about cars. Most people struggle to find parking for one car. Ambani, he's got 6 whole floors just for parking. And we're not talking about a few spots here and there. Nah, these 6 floors can hold 168 cars. That's more cars than some dealerships have in stock. But here's the thing that'll really blow your mind. To keep this vertical palace running smoothly, Antilia needs a staff of 600 people. That's right, 600. It's like having a small village living in your house, but they're all there to make sure your every need is met. And get this, Antilia isn't just big for the sake of being big. This place is built to last. It can withstand an earthquake of up to 8 on the Richter scale, so if the big one hits, Antilia will still be standing tall. But it's not all about crazy luxury. Antilia's got a softer side too. There's a massive garden that spans 3 whole floors. It's not just for show either. It actually helps save energy. It's like having a park in the sky. Now you might be thinking, sure, it's big and fancy, but is it really that different from other mega mansions? Well, let me tell you, Antilia stands out even among the world's most luxurious homes. It's not just about the size or the cost. It's about how every single detail is tailored to the Ambani family's lifestyle. But as mind-blowing as Antilia is, it's got people talking for other reasons too. Some folks are worried about how much energy this massive tower uses, especially in a city where many people don't even have reliable electricity. It's like having a giant spotlight shining on the gap between the ultra-rich and everyone else. So there you have it, Antilia, the billion-dollar home that's more than just a house. It's a symbol of extreme wealth, a marvel of engineering, and a topic of heated debate all rolled into one massive package. But as crazy as this place is, our tour of billionaire homes ain't over yet. Up next, we're heading back to Europe to check out a mansion that's not just luxurious, it's practically a botanical wonderland. Get ready, because things are about to get even greener. Villa Les Cèdres, a botanical billionaire's dream. From skyscrapers to secret gardens, we're about to step into a billionaire's paradise that's more plant than palace. Ever wondered what it's like to live in a house with 14,000 roommates? Spoiler alert, they're all green. Welcome to Villa Les Cedres, a $200 million mansion nestled in the sun-soaked French Riviera. This place isn't just a home, it's a time capsule wrapped in a jungle. And trust me, you've never seen a swimming pool quite like this one. Let's start with the basics. Villa Les Cedres has 14 bedrooms, each one decked out with fancy 19th century furniture. We're talking antiques that are older than your great-grandparents. But the real magic of this place isn't inside, it's what's growing outside. See, Villa Les Cedres used to be a botanical research center. That's right, this mansion was basically a plant lab. And the current owners? They decided to keep that vibe going. The result is 35 acres of the rarest, most exotic plants you've ever seen. But before we get to the green stuff, let's talk about the pool. This ain't your average backyard splash zone. Villa Les Cedres has an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's the same size the pros use in the Olympics. Imagine having Michael Phelps over for a race in your backyard. Now, onto the main event, the gardens. This place has over 14,000 species of plants. That's more types of plants than most botanical gardens have. We're talking rare tropical flowers, trees you've never heard of, and plants that probably don't even have names yet. And these aren't just any old plants. Some of these green guys are super rare and crazy expensive. It's like having a living, breathing treasure chest in your backyard. But here's the thing, keeping all these plants alive and happy ain't easy. The estate has a whole team of plant nerds, horticulturists, working around the clock. These guys are like plant doctors, making sure every leaf and petal is in tip-top shape. And it's not just about making things look pretty. Villa Les Cedres is actually doing some serious conservation work. They're helping save plant species that might otherwise die out. It's like having your own private Noah's Ark, but for plants. So while other billionaires are busy building car elevators and private ski slopes, the owner of Villa Les Cedres is out here saving the planet one rare plant at a time. It's luxury with a conscience, and it's setting a whole new standard for what it means to live green. But as mind-blowing as Villa Les Cedres is, we're not done yet. Our next stop is going to take us to a mansion that's not just luxurious. It's practically a work of art. We're talking about a place where even the swimming pool is blinged out. Get ready, because things are about to get even crazier in the world of billionaire homes. Whittenhurst, Lakshmi Mittal's London landmark. Remember when we said things were going to get crazier? Well, we weren't kidding. Imagine a house so luxurious it's named after one of the world's most famous monuments. But here's the real kicker. This place has a secret. Behind its traditional exterior lies an interior so lavish, it'll make your head spin. Ready to see why they call this place the Taj Mahal? Welcome to Lakshmi Mittal's $222 million mansion in Kensington Palace Gardens, London. This isn't just any old rich person's house. Nah, this is the cream of the crop when it comes to luxury living. From the outside, it looks like your typical fancy London mansion. You know, the kind you see in those period dramas. But step inside and it's a whole different story. First off, let's talk about the marble. Mittal didn't just go to the local stone yard for this stuff. He sourced it from the same quarry used for the actual Taj Mahal. Yeah, you heard that right. The same stone that makes up one of the world's most beautiful buildings is now lining the walls of Mittal's house. It's like he brought a piece of India right to the heart of London. But that's just the start. This place has got some serious bling. We're not talking about a few fancy chandeliers or some gold-plated faucets. Nah, Mittal's got a swimming pool that's encrusted with jewels. Imagine taking a dip and being surrounded by precious stones. It's like swimming in a giant engagement ring. Now you might be thinking, okay, fancy marble and a blinged out pool are cool, but what else? Well, hold on to your hats, because we're about to get to the most insane part of this house. Mittal's got a room that's so big, so extravagant, it'll make your eyes pop. We're talking about a ballroom that can host 200 people. That's right, 200. This ain't just some big living room with the furniture pushed to the side. It's a full-on proper ballroom. You could throw a party here that'd make the royals jealous. It's the kind of room where you half expect to see Disney princesses waltzing around. But here's the thing about Mittal's mansion. It's not just about showing off. This place is part of a bigger picture. See, Mittal owns multiple properties in the area. He's not just buying houses, he's investing in some of the most expensive real estate in the world. And in Kensington Palace Gardens, that's saying something. Of course, when you're dropping this kind of cash on a house, you can't just do whatever you want. There are special permits and restrictions that apply to modifications in this area. It's all about keeping the historical and architectural integrity of the neighborhood. So even billionaires have to play by some rules. So there you have it, the Taj Mahal. It's a place where old-world charm meets new-world luxury, where traditional English architecture houses Indian-inspired opulence. It's a testament to what happens when you've got more money than you know what to do with and a taste for the finer things in life. But as mind-blowing as Mittal's mansion is, we're not done yet. Our next stop is going to take us to a home that's not just luxurious, it's downright infamous. We're talking about a place that's been on TV so many times you might recognize it before I even tell you what it is. Get ready, because we're about to see what happens when Hollywood and billions collide. Chartwell Estate, media mogul's mansion. You've seen this mansion on TV, but the reality is even more jaw-dropping. What if I told you this famous Beverly Hills estate has a secret hiding beneath its manicured lawns? It's not just a house, it's a billionaire's playground with a twist that'll make car enthusiasts drool. Welcome to Chartwell Estate, the $150 million mansion that's more than just a pretty face. You might recognize it as the Clampett house from the Beverly Hillbillies, but trust me, it's way fancier in real life. This place recently got a new owner, Lachlan Murdoch, the son of media tycoon Rupert Murdoch. Talk about keeping it in the family, right? Now let's talk about what $150 million gets you in Beverly Hills. This place is huge. We're talking 11 bedrooms and 18 bathrooms. That's enough space to house a small army or throw the wildest house party ever. But that's just the beginning. Step outside and you're in for a treat. Chartwell's got a 75-foot swimming pool that's practically begging for a pool party. And if you're feeling sporty, there's a tennis court waiting for you. It's like having your own private country club right in your backyard. But here's where things get really interesting. Chartwell Estate's got a secret, and it's not the kind you'd expect in a fancy Beverly Hills mansion. It's not a hidden room or a secret passage. Nah, it's way cooler than that. Beneath the manicured lawns and fancy gardens, there's something that'd make any car lover weak at the knees. Chartwell's got an underground garage that can hold 40 cars. Yeah, you heard that right. 40 cars. That's not a garage, that's a whole dealership hidden under a mansion. Imagine having space for 40 of your favorite rides, all safe and sound underground. You could have a different car for every day of the month and still have room for guests. It's like a bat cave, but for luxury cars instead of crime-fighting gear. This underground car paradise isn't just about storage, though. It's a flex, plain and simple. It's Murdoch saying, yeah, I've got a fancy mansion, but check out my secret car collection. It's the kind of feature that turns a regular rich person's house into a billionaire's playground. But as mind-blowing as Chartwell Estate is, it's not even the most expensive place on our list. We've got one more stop, and it's going to make your head spin. We're talking about a house that's not just expensive, it's literally fit for a queen. Get ready, because we're about to see what happens when you take royal luxury and crank it up to 11. We're heading to a place where even the pianos are made of gold. Yeah, you heard that right. Gold pianos. It's the kind of luxury that makes Chartwell look like a starter home. So buckle up, because our final stop is going to show you what happens when money is no object and your house is also a national landmark. We're talking about a place so fancy, so over the top, it's not even for sale. But trust me, if it was, it'd make Chartwell's $150 million price tag look like pocket change. Buckingham Palace, the ultimate royal residence. You thought Chartwell was expensive? Well, get ready for a mansion that makes $150 million look like chump change. We're talking about a place where even the piano's made of gold. Yeah, you heard that right. And that's just the start of the insanity. Welcome to Buckingham Palace, the most expensive house in the world. This place is worth a whopping $1.5 billion. But here's the kicker. It ain't even for sale. It's the official home of the British royal family, and they're not moving out anytime soon. From the outside, Buckingham Palace looks like your typical fancy castle. But step inside and you'll see why it's worth more than some countries' entire economies. This place is huge. We're talking 775 rooms, that's not a typo, 775 rooms, including 52 royal and guest bedrooms. It's like a whole city crammed into one building. But it's not just about the size. Every inch of this place screams luxury. The walls are covered in priceless art. The furniture is older than most countries. And don't even get me started on the chandeliers. They're so fancy, they make Las Vegas look dim. Now let's talk about the garden. Buckingham Palace has a 40-acre backyard. That's bigger than some parks. It's got its own lake, tennis court, and even a helipad. Because when you're royalty, you don't just drive up to your front door. You land on your lawn. But here's where it gets really wild. Buckingham Palace has its own ATM. Yeah, you heard that right. The Queen doesn't have to run to the bank like the rest of us. She's got a private cash machine right in her house. Talk about convenience. Now you might be thinking, okay, a private ATM is cool, but what's the most impressive thing about this place? Well, hold on to your crowns, because we're about to get to the craziest part. In the white drawing room, there's a piano. But this ain't just any old piano, it's made of 24-karat gold. Yeah, solid gold. This thing is so fancy, it makes other pianos look like kids' toys. Imagine trying to play chopsticks on an instrument worth millions. Talk about performance pressure. But here's the thing about Buckingham Palace. It's not just a house. It's a working building. It's got offices. It's where the Queen meets important people. And it's even open to tourists sometimes. It's like if your house was also the White House and a museum all rolled into one. And maintaining this place, it costs about £2 million a year. That's just to keep the lights on and the gold piano shiny. The palace employs a small army of staff, security, housekeepers, gardeners, you name it. It's like running a small country but with fancier curtains. So there you have it. Buckingham Palace, the ultimate royal residence. It's a place where history, luxury and royalty all come together in one insanely expensive package. It makes our other billionaire mansions look like starter homes. But here's the million-dollar question, or should we say billion-dollar? What's next for luxury real estate? Are we going to see floating mansions, houses on Mars? Or maybe, just maybe, we'll see a trend towards more sustainable luxury. Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. The world of billionaire homes is never boring.